So today I really want to talk about the phrase, everything always happens for a reason. I think some people can think that it is optimistic and hopeful, and I think other people can think it's just a lie and it's just completely unrealistic. And I think that it really just depends on your perspective, because, terrible things can happen, but it is really how we bounce back from the situations, how we react from them, because we can either choose to be passive in our lives and let things happen to us and just let everything go by, pass us by, and let life pass us by, basically. Or we can choose to be active and step up and make a choice in our lives and make a decision, because there were times when I was younger, I didn't really want to live past 26, and I was like, that is too long, that's long enough, I gotta go. But just through honestly life experiences, I was like, you know what, there's actually a lot more that is worth it. Terrible things happen, terrible things have happened to me, but I didn't want to become those people that were hurting me, that were like, just not destroying my life, but like, just, I think as a child, that is basically how I feel, how it feels and how I felt. But aside from that, I just didn't want to keep allowing that discomfort and that unhappiness to carry out through my life, because I didn't really want my past to become my future. I think that is part of also why I didn't want to have such a long life, or like a life past 26, because I was just like, okay, like if this is how it is, then I don't really care for the rest of it. But I decided, I think like when I was in college and stuff like that life is worth living. Not to really quote Justin Bieber, I think he has a song called that, but that is always what it makes me think of for some reason. But life is worth living. Life can be amazing. There's a lot of people to meet. There's a lot of people, a lot of places to go, a lot of things to see. And, hi, if you're new and, you've just come across my page, I am Julia, and I love talking about authenticity and just being your best self and your most genuine self. And I think today it can be a little bit tough because, our life can be what we make it. Not to quote Hannah Montana either, but it is all about perspective and how we want to look at things and how we want our life to look genuinely for ourselves. And, you can choose any day. It doesn't have to be the first day of the week. It could be right when you're seeing this. It could be, it can be whenever you want to start changing your life and to do something that is going to make you happy. You don't have to sit in that hurt and that discomfort and that disappointment forever. And that is also, it's not going to last forever as well. And I also think with energy, when bad things happen, when difficult things happen, we need to balance that out with some better things too. So, just all of those like phrases and stuff are coming to me, like the tables will turn, just all of those things. It's got to balance itself out in some way. And like I said, it's never too late to restart your life. No situation is ever too far gone that you can't, excuse me, I'm all over the place with my allergies. I don't even know what it is. But no situation is ever too far gone that you can't try again. And as long as you are still living and breathing while you're watching this, I hope, you can take this moment to make your life look how you want it to. Don't get bogged down in the illusion that life always has to be difficult. That might have been your past, but it doesn't have to be your future. And that is a lot of how I was thinking, that all of those terrible things that I was going through, that was just my life. And I was like, but at some point I just didn't want to accept that anymore. And like, for an example of thinking about things from a perspective, if something is being optimistic or something is just, you're just lying to yourself, it is just, everything is just how we look at it. So an example that I wrote down is that traffic can be really a nuisance. When you're driving in your car and there's traffic on the highway, some people can think of it as a nuisance, while others can think of it as a time for them to, just to be by themselves. It can be a quiet time, and it can actually be enjoyable to some people. Sometimes I honestly really enjoy traffic. And I don't really, get irritated by it very much. And I know a lot of people it can be like life or death in the car when there's traffic. But everything depends on your perspective. And I choose to think this way because it used to be, like I said, the only thing keeping me alive. The only thing that I had to depend on was the delusion, whatever, people call it and things like that. I feel like that is just, delusion is maybe something that we all kind of collectively can understand, but I don't really think there's anything delusional about being hopeful and thinking that there's a better life for you, that you can create a better life for yourself, because I have been down in the dumps, like literally in the depths of HE double hockey sticks. I don't know if I can say that on here, but you know, I decided to bring myself back up, and I didn't want to believe my life was going to be so hard, so I didn't believe that. I didn't want that to be my reality, so I even just started like these past couple of years just saying 3 things that I was grateful for, 3 things that I even liked about myself. But now, you know, after doing all of those things, that has really become my mindset, my perspective. Every single experience, thought, mistake, hurtful moment is something that I'm grateful for, and it has all of those difficult emotions have given me the strength to move on and to, you know, to really get through my life and to get myself through things by thinking of them with, you know, a perspective of gratitude, because all of those things are part of our journey. They are getting us through. That is just, you know, you can look back at the end of your life and, you know, write a book about it if you want to, about everything that you've gone through. But I think that every situation is something to learn from, no matter how painful it is. And, you know, like I said, we can choose to be passive. We can choose to let things happen to us. We can choose to, you know, we can't control how other people are going to, you know, treat us, affect us, but we can choose how we react to those things. If somebody wants to call you, you know, a name while you're, like I said, in traffic, they want to be mean to you, you don't have to retaliate. You don't have to give that person a reaction, because that, you know, they're choosing to do what they want to do. You can choose what you want to do. And I think that is just all about life, is choosing your reactions, choosing to either let things happen to you or to take an active role. And like I said, even if that person's going to be oh my goodness, my nose. Even if that person is going to be mean to you in traffic, you can choose actively to disregard it, to like ignore it, to not give it any more attention, anything like that. You can choose, you know, however direction you want your life to go. Because, yeah, I chose to live my life, to change my life and live in the optimism that it doesn't have to be bad. That not everybody's bad, not everybody's mean. Most people are mean. I didn't mean to say that. Most people are nice. Not everybody is mean. I didn't mean to say that. But, and you don't have to struggle if you don't want to. If you are in a situation where, again, you can take the active role to not struggle, you can, I think I've said this in another video, you can really make your energy, and, you know, your day, you can really put your energy into things that are healthy for you, that you see fit for yourself, basically. And you can move your energy around, especially if your energy is at different levels throughout different days. You can also create systems for yourself. Like I was just thinking, with struggling, you don't have to struggle if you have like systems in place and you have, you know, things that you've planned in place. When you're, I feel like, yeah, just when you're scattered, when everything is just all over the place, you don't really have a system. I think that is just a sign that you don't have a system, that you don't have something that you can rely on, something that is just a routine for you. And it doesn't have to be the same routine every single day. It could be something else, something that is different, like through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is. But you don't have to be living in a life of struggle. You can choose to, you know, get back on your feet, to really, you know, bring your energy back in, center yourself, do a little bit of yoga if you want to. And I honestly did some yoga this morning, and I centered myself and I got myself ready for the day. I was feeling just kind of all scattered all over the place. And I did some yoga just to bring myself back. So it could be something like, if you have just 5 minutes to do some yoga, to really sit and center yourself, to gather your energy, you can, you know, really harness those scattered thoughts and those scattered emotions too. Not everything has to be difficult. And if you have lived in that difficult place in your past, it doesn't have to become your future. You don't have to keep carrying that hurt into the present moment. So yeah, choose to be optimistic and delusional, however you want to be. I think there's so much fun in being delusional that you can really think up your own reality and create that for yourself. And it might not be something that you see the results from immediately in the same day. It could be, but it is also something that can take time and that you can keep building towards and keep building that mindset and momentum towards. And this is your life. You are seeing me at a point of your day, and you're going to keep going throughout your day. And, you know, I'm just a fleeting point of your day that, you know, it is, I don't even know where I'm going with that, but it's your life. This is your life. You are seeing me. You could shut me off right now if you wanted to. This is your life. You can do whatever you want. But you can also make your life look however you want it to. If you're unhappy with something, do the opposite. If you're unhappy with, you know, a situation, think and plan, put your thoughts together, put your energy together to do something that is going to make you happy, to get yourself out of that situation, to not let that situation and those feelings continue. You don't have to. You don't have to let that struggle continue if you don't want to, because you deserve peace and happiness, and you don't have to let your past, again, like I said, continue into your present and into your future. It is your life and your perspective. You can make it however you want to. And you can shift whenever you want to. You can shift your perspective. You can, you know, just decide that you're done being miserable and unhappy at any point. That's what I did, and I'm glad I did it. So I hope this was helpful for you to really remind yourself of all of the power that you have. You literally control your life. Like, that is pretty incredible. You are, you know, this is your life. Everybody has their own lives. We can do whatever we want with our own lives, which is really, really cool. I can decide to drive my car into a bush right now if I really wanted to, if that was the choice I wanted to make. So it's really cool that we have these choices and that we have these options. We don't need to stay bogged down and just sucked down into the struggle. We don't need to keep doing that. And I hope that this video has inspired you that you can change your life at any day. Life is all about perspective. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I hope you remember that. You can choose what perspective you want at any day. At any time. You don't need to keep living. If you're unhappy, you don't need to keep living like that anymore. If you are happy, keep doing the things that are making you happy. That is amazing. But yeah, your life is your life. Make it however you want it to be. So I hope, again, that was inspiring, whatever. I hope you took something from that. Like and subscribe if you feel called to. That was all my videos for the week. And all of my other socials and stuff are down below. I do have a Threads that I've been more active on, so I'm going to, if I haven't already, that will be in the description. But yeah, I hope I see you in the next one. If not, thank you so much for stopping by. And for everybody else, bye for now.